Hey, I'm Grumps. I'm not so Grump, and we're the game Grumps.
Well played, Arin.
What?
As that last episode ended, I was like, "Oh, can I? Do you mind if I respond to this text message?" And Arin was like, "Sure, go ahead." as I'm texting, I get a text from Arin that says, "It says."
No, I said I'll take the time to respond to a text of my own.
That's right. And then I get a text from Arin that says, "Yeah, he's responding to text messages, wasting my fucking time," followed by, "Sorry, wrong person." You fucking bastard. What was it you were yelling when we were recording the Star Bomb song? Like, "You're always after my Reese's Pieces."
Fuck you, Jim! Fuck you! Get out of my store! The fuck out of my store, Jim! Always stealing my Reese's Pieces! Buying up all my Starburst!
Oh, man.
That's my best-selling product!
I love that character.
Starburst is the hardest to restock!
He was
Gotta call up the company directly!
He was yelling that at our producer, Jim Roach, who was dying.
Fuck you, Jim!
Reese's Pieces. Did you see
the ultrasound?
Did you see Audrey's, like, her St. Patrick's Day video? It's pretty much the best
What is it?
baby video I've ever seen.
This is the one where she's like, no.
Yeah, but it's crazier. It's like Rachel, Brian's wife, and Audrey's mom is like, "Audrey, would you like to say Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone?" And she just looks at her for a second, and then she's like, "No!" Babies are such assholes. As you know, our star has been rising a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You know, people, Game Grumps and NSP are starting to become known on an international scale, which is super exciting. And I was in Little Tokyo the other day, and I got recognized. And
Wow.
it was really exciting because I got recognized by a Japanese couple, clearly like from Japan, just visiting here, and they were very excited. I was walking by and I heard the husband lean over to his wife and say, he said it in like hushed tones, but like just loud enough that he wanted me to hear and turn around and talk to him. He was like, "Do you know who that is? That's a Kenny G saxophone player."
I can't believe that's real.
It was the fucking best. And I'm just walking, I'm like, immediately I start to laugh. I'm like, but I can't turn around because I don't want to like, I don't want this guy to realize that I'm not Kenny G. So I just kept walking. But if he had come up to me and said, ask for a photo and an autograph, I would have absolutely done it.
100%.
And like written, I was like thinking about like what I was gonna write. I was like, keep blowing. Love always, Kenny G.
Keep Saxon.
Yeah. So yeah, like that was
Keep blowing.
I had a teacher named Mr. Iacano, who was like a gym teacher. He was like super old school, and whenever he was trying to talk and like other kids were talking, he'd be like, "Excuse me, am I being rude? No, you're being rude." It's like the teacheriest shit you could ever say. When I was a kid, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik got arrested together for driving a car smoking weed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and that confused the shit out of me because I was like, why is a good guy hanging out with a bad guy? Maybe a couple years ago when we were still getting to know each other, you know, like, it takes a little while before, like, you realize what someone's, like, you know, where someone's boundaries lie in terms of, like,
Oh, God.
you know, like, what you can say and what you can't say. And we were talking about hanging out, and I was like, I want to say, like, I'm so fucking pumped up, I can't wait. But I was like, it's too early, I don't know if, like, he'd be, you know, whatever. So I was just like, I'm excited to see you, man. And I think you responded with like, dude, I cannot wait to get inside your asshole.
He's amazing.
I think he can do this.
I was like, I guess we're friends now. I guess that is official.
Oh man. Oh, I want that text now.
It's years old already.
Man, I'm really excited to hang out with you. I cannot wait to ravish that body with my cock and semen.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna get your dick so hard that it explodes into a million tiny dicks. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I'm gonna cover you like a birthday cake with my jizz.
Barry, feel free to edit this out if this is an embarrassing story. But last
No,
night...
don't.
Okay, cool.
Because you don't want to give Barry work.
We'll make sure the episode's exactly 10 minutes so he can't remove anything without, like, being too short for an episode. We were leaving your house last night. And you know, like, your stairs off your porch are really fucking janky.
Yeah.
And, like, he fell a little bit and twisted his ankle. And so he's lying on the ground. He's like, fuck, I sprained my ankle. I was like, are you serious? Are you okay? And he was just like, yeah, I'll probably be alright. He was like, and I farted. It's like, I know you did. But something about, like, him, like, laying on the ground, clutching his ankle.
Yeah, I guess I'll be alright.
Arin handed me his phone so I could look up something, and I couldn't help but notice that, I don't know, reading 4 of these randomly off the list. These are titled Big Dick, I Love Fucking Bitches, Make to Peepees, and Fart Chamber. Just no fucking context. I think I've told you about this. Like, he is the king of annoying people on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, he can't take it at all. Like, he can absolutely dish it out, but cannot take it.
That's awesome.
Like, he is incapable of showing a 16th of the restraint that I have to show every day not to kill him.
But Dan, he's Ninja Brian. He would kill you.
I know. It's true.
That's the story you guys tell.
Meanwhile,
That's the falsified truth.
if I do something that annoys him once, he'll be like, please don't do that again. And then I'll do it again, and he'll be like, dude, stop, seriously, it's not funny, it's not cool. Like, it's such a fucking puss. It is the best.
Dude, seriously, stop.
Yeah. I'm like, you cannot be serious. After doing this to me 800 times, you can't handle 2?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story for you, Dan.
Tell me.
The Nintendo Twitter, it might have been like the Mario Twitter itself, but they made a tweet about Wigglers, and it was something like Mario hates Wigglers, blah 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 blah, but they spelled it wrong, so it said Wiggers.
Oh no.
And then like a ton of people like retweeted it, and they were like, whoa!
Damn!
And then they took it down and they were like, whoa, Mario got a little crazy there.
That's fantastic. Do you have a screenshot of that?
I'm sure it exists somewhere.
Okay.
If you just look up Nintendo Wigger tweet, I'm sure you'll find it.
Dude, I had a Freudian slip the other day. I was like, I meant to say this will blow your mind, but instead I said this will blow your mom. Get ready to have your mom blown.
Right before your eyes.
Someone apparently gave John some cheese nips at a panel that he did.
Before ours.
Yeah, and later we were at the same panel. And I just saw a box of cheese nips there, and I was like, oh, sweet, cheese nips. And people were like, like, everyone's going crazy, and I don't know why. But, like, when you're up there, you can't make out what people are saying. Like, you can hear one voice, but when everyone's yelling at once, it just sounds like this garbled mess.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody's like, those are John's! And I'm like, what? Who? Like, what do you... And so, like, I eat one, and people are like, oh my god! It's so ridiculous. It's so funny.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then when I like, then when I finally like heard what they were saying, like
moon
after it calmed down,
explodes.
yeah, when it calmed down, I was like, oh, all right, I'll save him for him. And they were like, he's gonna see him later. It's like, it's fucking reading way too much into everything. so bananas.
What if it was like something like horrible and they were like just trying to tell you? They were like,
Yeah.
There's syphilis in those Cheez-Its!
Those are okay, those Cheez-Its!
should I eat them? They're like,
No, they have syphilis!
We go to less cons these days because we get severely ill in general.
severely ill.
Yeah, and Arin, in a very intense bout of barfing, bashed his head on the side of the toilet and gave yourself an upper lip scar, and
Yeah.
that's why you have like a permanent facial hair now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Permanent facial hair. Well, also because luckily Susie was like, I like it, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Thank Jesus.
If you didn't like it,
Yeah.
we're gonna have words.
Are you embarrassed by that scar?
I'm not like embarrassed by it, but you know, it's like,
It doesn't make you feel pretty.
yeah, it's like either have the scar or don't by having a beard or not having a beard,
Right.
which is much less like intrusive than a fucking scar.
It's just an amazing idea to me that like the domino chains, the way they fall. Like, yeah, I guess we'll go to MagFest. Yeah, I guess I'll shake this dude's hand. Oops, I've got a virus. I need to barf. And now I'll have a permanent mustache for the rest of my life. My shop teacher got, I don't know if he was definitely reprimanded. I don't know if he was fired.
Really?
But, yeah.
Oh, I gotta hear this story now.
Well, he was jerking off in his office. Not much of a story, really. As much of a factoid.
Presumably with no children present.
No,
Okay.
just jerking off. Although,
Oh,
I forgot about this guy. There was a guy, I never had him as a teacher, but like, there was a science teacher who like got arrested for having child pornography. And he would like invite like the boy students, this is like 7th grade, he would invite them over to his house for like laser tag, like shirts versus skins laser tag, like ugh.
I am not asking Dan to do any favors for me.
Yeah, specifically fucking you.
What? Why would you even say that?
God, what if we just fucked one day?
Dude, you're so weird right now. What is going on with you, man?
Why is it weird, man? Just two bros fucking each other?
Dude, what?
Just
What?
hanging out, going to a baseball game, fucking give each other hot blowies on
Oh my god!
center field.
Whoa!
Jumping down onto the base paths.
Dude!
All right, never mind. I've been hanging out with Ninja Brian too much.
How could you say shit like that?
I don't know.
Man, messed up.
Arin,
What?
you do realize that I have voice messages from you saying like, hey Dan. Hey Dan, it's Arin. Listen, I just need you inside my asshole right now. So,
What? Did that really happen?
of course that happened.
What?
That happened like 2 years ago.
Man, you gotta send me that.
Okay. It's on my old phone, but I'm sure I kept it. Because it made me laugh every time. You're like, listen, I know you're busy, but like...
Man, I used to be funny.
Oh, god damn, dude. It's just hilarious that, like, how quickly we forget.
Yeah. I would totally still do that.
Our dear, sweet personal assistant, who's so helpful and awesome, and that is not sarcastic at all. I had trouble putting in my contact lenses and I needed some solution. And she was like, here, try this. We've got some in the office. And she handed me the type of solution that apparently you're only supposed to place your contacts in and then rinse them out and then put saline on them and then put them in your eye.
You're supposed to let them soak for 6 hours.
Yeah. Essentially, it's pure hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
And I put that shit right on my open eyeball. And oh, it burns. I need a patch and a hook hand and a peg leg.
It had a big warning on it that said red cap means don't put directly on eye.
Yeah. I thought they just made it that color so you could find it more easily in the cabinet.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, hard.
let's
Like
start
it's going to be hard to see. When I was hanging out with Barry the other day, he started laughing randomly after checking his phone. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, well, Arin and Gerard and I are having a text conversation. And then he apparently, in the midst of all that, got a text from you that said, dude, I'll fuck whoever. And then an immediately following text that said, sorry, wrong person.
Oh, there was more to that.
Oh boy, that's all I heard.
Did you?
It's fucking outstanding.
No, here,
though.
let me read you the other.
Oh, please.
The other ones.
I'm glad this is a thing.
So that was the first one, but then after that.
Got it.
Did you do good?
I got a thing.
Did you do good? That's good. Okay. So that was the first one,
Okay.
and then the second one was Gerard said, "Cool. Do we need cash?" And I said, "No, just your hot fucking body." Sorry, wrong person.
Shit, I just remembered another fucking insane thing that was New York and New Jersey from the 80s. There was a dude named Crazy Eddie. Was he in Florida? He was New York, right? Oh god. It was just like, I think it was an actor who was doing it, like, Eddie was just the name of the guy who owned the store, but like there was an actor playing a character named Crazy Eddie, and
Sounds like you're saying Crazy Yeti.
Yeti. No. Eddie. Crazy Eddie.
Okay.
And he would just like, he had like the enthusiasm of like the Sham Wow guy. He was like, and this over here, and this over here,
Right.
and just screaming, and then it would always finish like, and Crazy Eddie, our prices are insane.
Oh my god.
Those commercials have to be on YouTube.
Did he like stare you in the fucking eye?
I can't remember. I was so young, but like
Insane.
hold on, I gotta look it up now. It was.
Our prices are what they used to call me. Insane.
Crazy.
They used to because I killed them.
Crazy Eddie, prices are insane. Thank you, internet. 1984, Jesus.
84.
Beat the heat! Beat the heat with a fan and air conditioner from Crazy Eddie. Get the guaranteed lowest sale prices anywhere on electric fans and air conditioners.
Okay, so let me not make you listen to that whole thing, but
fuck?
I'll just skip to the end.
The heat. See Crazy Eddie now. His prices are insane.
Wow, that's a surprisingly laid back
mellow.
one. Yeah, he would go fucking bananas later on.
Our prices are. Maybe people were just getting too scared.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, they like once it became like a thing, and he became like a caricature of what was originally a caricature. The whole thing was nuts.
I was in a room with my parents and somebody else, and this somebody else was like, I think this was in like the fucking 90s. I was very young.
Sure.
They were like, I think Seal is gay.
Like
The singer.
the singer. Okay.
Seal.
Not
And-
gay.
Yeah. And then I was like, what is gay? Like, just like flat out, like this is the moment that my parents are dreading.
Right.
And they just sort of look at each other and they're like, well,
How did they put it?
it means that you like to kiss boys.
Wow, did they say it like that?
Yeah. And I was like, huh, maybe I'm gay. I mean, I don't know. I've never kissed a girl, and I like kissing my dad. He kisses me goodnight every night, and I like that.
What was that thing you said to Barry? Was sorry, wrong number? Do you remember? I think you sent it to all of us.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't remember what I said.
Oh shit, I don't either.
It was just like-
it was very inappropriate.
Yeah, it was like super raunchy and like, oh man, let me lick that pussy. Sorry, wrong number. Like a work chain. Where you're like trying to organize something really important. No, what? No, we have to play all of them eventually. I mean, they're hilarious.
Okay.
Aren't they hilarious?
They are. They're
think-
amazing. Does this have something to do with the fact that Sonic tweeted you recently?
What? They tweeted you?
They apparently caught wind of it snowing on Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome.
So the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter tweeted out to somebody a haiku that ended in "It's snowing on Mount Fuji."
Nothing could make me happier than that. We recorded at a studio recently. We recorded the new Starbomb album, which will come out next year, 2018. Get hype. And the guy who owned the studio had worked with rock stars for many, many, many years. So he had all kinds of crazy, amazing stories. And one of my favorites, probably my favorite story actually, was this one rocker. We'll call him Larry David, but you insert the rocker of your choice. And he was, perhaps still is, a massive heroin addict and drug addict of all kinds. And he came to, he was just listening, playing back his music that he had done. And the guy who owned the studio was sitting next to him. And a mosquito landed on this musician's bare arm and started sucking his blood. And the guy who owned the studio was like, dude, there's a mosquito on you. And instead of swatting the mosquito, the musician was like, watch this. And just let the mosquito finish its business. And then, like, as it was done, it flew away and immediately died of a heroin overdose. Holy shit, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I fucking love that story. How much heroin do you have to do, not to even just have that happen, but to have it happen enough times where you know it's gonna happen in advance?
Check this out.
Watch this. That's crazy, man.
No, I once had a boss who worked at a place that I worked at, and I Googled him once.
Right.
And like I found out that he had a brother who was like, who was like had like a history in coaching professional whatever teams.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's neat. So like the next time I saw him, I was like, oh, dude, like, I actually found out the other day that you had a brother, like, and he like coaches teams. Like, that's pretty cool. And he was like, how did you find that out? And I was like, oh, I was just Googling people. And he was like, you Googled me? And I was like, yeah, like, is that a big deal? And he's like, don't ever do that again.
Whoa.
And I was like, holy shit. If you were just like, oh, cool. Like, I never would have Googled him again. But like, since he did that, I was like, I think I'm going to fucking Google this
Yeah,
guy
I am
some more.
absolutely Googling this guy. You kidding me? Anyone who tells you don't Google me, that's exactly the type of person you should be Googling.
Yeah. First of all, I cannot believe we just lost the fucking
Yeah, that was terrible.
Heidi Klum's husband over here.
You know what you just reminded me of? When we were in the hotel room. And you were, like, just eating and farting uncontrollably, and you were like, oh, just like a fucking garbage factory.
I was though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
God,
You got
shit stank, dude.
It was. You don't have to tell me that was a tiny hotel room. Wow. Barry and I would just look at each other like, wow, we should look after him.
Well, that was the point where Susie was like, "Oh no!" and just like walked out.
Yeah. Arin. She loves you, man.
Yeah.
She must. I never read fucking comments, but like sometimes my friends will send them to me if it makes them laugh. And one was, I was just waiting for Dan to fucking say monkey instead of Waddle Dee. And lo and behold, 30 seconds into episode 1, and then just like 2 paragraphs of like the fundamental differences between the two species. Oh, it was awesome.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So thank you.
The
Thank
two
you.
species of fictional and non-fictional characters.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the differences that was highlighted. So Ross, who has been on a terrible sleep schedule lately, keeps,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he keeps passing out during the day and fucking himself over. And like every day, he's like, I just have to stay awake through the day. I just have to power through it, and then I'll go to sleep at night and I'll be on a normal schedule. And I'm like, then stay awake, man. Stop going to sleep. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna lie down for a second. And I'm like, what did you just tell me?
Just pump your body full of gross energy drinks that'll probably make your lifespan a lot shorter.
Right.
And then fucking enjoy the rest of your life
Yeah.
that you have left.
So I, right before we started the last session, I was like, all right, Ross, when I come out here, I want to see you awake and alert. Don't go to sleep. And he was like, I won't. And then I come out, he's curled up in the beanbag chair, totally unconscious. And I'm like, Ross. And I wake him up and he's like, huh? I'm like, what do you have to say for yourself? And he's like, do you think if someone was afraid of Obama, they'd be called barachnophobic? And then he like went right back to sleep.
That's what he said.
Yeah, like out of nowhere, he's like,
Barachnophobic.
I was like, okay. All right, so I just wanted to share something.
Okay.
It takes a little bit of reading.
Okay, go for it.
I already shared this with you, but I think it's important.
What is it?
It's a Reddit post.
Yeah.
By a guy named Blibobledo, and it was under Reddit. Which celebrity uses their fame for good, and which ones use it to be a douchebag? And so Blibobledo shared this story, and I thought it was important to share.
Okay.
When I was younger, I got roped into watching my 3-month-old niece while my sister got her hair done. So there I am sitting in the waiting room of a hair salon with my niece, and who walks in but Keanu Reeves? I was nervous as shit, and just kept looking at him as he read a magazine and waited, but I was too scared to say anything. Pretty soon though, my niece started crying, and I'm trying to quiet her down because I didn't want to bother Keanu, but she wouldn't stop. Pretty soon he gets up and walks over. He started running his hands through her hair and asked what was wrong. I replied that she was probably hungry or something. So Keanu Reeves put down his magazine, picked up my niece, and lifted his shirt. He breastfed her right there in the middle of a hair salon. Chill guy, really nice about it. 7,000 upvotes.
Chill guy, really nice about it.
That fucking killed me.
So, while we were on the road, things got pretty gay.
Brian constantly threatens to
Yeah,
give
but
Dan
Brian
a
is
beach.
constantly, although Brian is married, he constantly threatens to, just do terrible homosexual things to me. And so he he made the request. He was like, Dan, can I make one request of you?
Perfect impression.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, what? He's like, I need you to say, I'm a sexy little baby. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
And he's like, what's the big deal?
He's like,
come on.
Yeah, come, just do it. Just do it. Everybody's here. We're all friends. You're a sexy little baby. Do it. I'm like, oh, fine. God damn it. So I was just like, I'm a sexy little baby. And he was like, louder, louder. So everyone can hear.
You have to say it louder. What? I didn't hear you.
So I was like, I'm a sexy little baby. And everybody loves it. Barry and Susie are big fans.
We just came in. I just wanted to say one thing to you, Dan.
Oh yeah.
I'm a sexy little baby.
Dan.
What's up, Barry?
Dan. Soy un baby caliente.
That means spicy, not sexy.
No, it means hot.
Oh, does it?
Hot.
Oh,
You're a
definitely
hot
right.
little
It never
baby.
gets old.
Boy, babies,
Adios.
you're sexy and
Sexy
little,
little baby.
just like me.
All right, welcome back.
Hello.
Here's that story I promised you about Dan and I as children.
Yes, which, again, seems unlikely.
All right, one day, in little old Kansas, where we grew up together.
That's incorrect.
Dan was 12, I was 17.
Unlikely.
I
am older than you.
Dan, let me tell you a little something about young Dan. He was really into crime, like murders,
Nope.
all the time. And he would get away with them. He still has, honestly. He hasn't served any time for the unsolved murders of Caitlin, Francis, and Jean.
I would really appreciate it if you didn't suggest that I've murdered.
In Kansas, in 1942, when we were children. He was 8 and I was 77.
Yeah. Wow. So cool that you made it all the way to 135.
Anyway, here's the deal.
Yeah.
This is what happened. I mean, he just shit himself. We were hanging out at the DQ, at the Dairy Queen. The DQ is what I call it.
No one calls it that.
Oh fuck! Oh, I opened it, but it didn't work. Okay. All right, I gotta do it again. Anyway, we were hanging out at the DQ. Dan shit himself 17 times in a row.
Okay.
And it was it was consecutive. Like he.
But it was the 40s, so these things didn't matter.
Well, actually, it was
no internet.
It was actually worse than.
It was actually the 2040s.
If it happens in the 40s. Yeah. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
But he cleaned off his butt after every shit, and then he shit himself afterwards again. And because he was shitting himself, he was just like, oh, there's all this stuff that's coming out. I might as well replace it with more ice cream. And what happened was, he would just keep shitting out the ice cream. And that's it, really.
We are losing our minds right now.
That's the end of the story.
Good story, Arin. So, if I may recap.
I have to make this, dude.
When we were young children.
I was 77 and you were 2.
When you were a young child of 77, growing up in Kansas in the 40s, and I was a murderer of 2 years old. I shit myself.
17 times.
17 times.
At a Dairy Queen.
At a Dairy Queen. That's the end, huh? That's...
It's a really good story.
I think it's the Dairy Queen part that really gets me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my god, there's so many one-ups! Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, Arin.